Hello everyone, this is Kaijin back with another Godzilla vs. Kong video, and there's a lot of plot details in this video, so let's delve right in. Minor spoiler warning ahead. So anyways, let us begin. So the very first thing is that Godzilla vs. Kong takes place 5 years after the events of King of the Monsters, which is pretty cool. I think it's a pretty good idea too, because it leads to more character growth off screen. We also have different things going on, like new technology and Apex and all that kind of stuff. So it'd be a little weird that in a span of a year, all of a sudden these things emerge. So I think 5 years is a good idea. During those 5 years, though, Godzilla has become the alpha predator, with all the Titans obeying him. He has been continuously attacking Apex for the past few months. So cool stuff there. It looks like Apex recently built Mecha in that case, because Godzilla is attacking Apex for the past few months, not for 5 years. So, pretty interesting. And we delve more into Apex later down the road in this video, so stay tuned. But anyway, Wingard, the director, talks about how human scenes aren't as needed as much in this movie because King Kong is a humanoid type creature type thing, and we can relate to him more easily. So this basically confirms that there will be a lot more action scenes and less cutaways compared to other movies like King of the Monsters, like 2014 Godzilla. So, awesome stuff here. Super, super cool. Next up, this is very, very interesting. Skull Island is the equivalent of the Hollow Earth being raised up, or basically like going to the surface level. Hence the abnormal creature. So, this is really interesting. It seems like Skull Island is essentially a part of the Hollow Earth, but it just kind of raised up, or is now on the surface with humans are at. So, really, really interesting stuff. I guess all those different critters are what we can expect in the Hollow Earth as well. Maybe a giant mother long legs and skull crawlers and all this good stuff. So, very interesting stuff there. Really good twist in my opinion too. So you can definitely branch out there with like a lot. You can really branch out with that. So, next up we have the other Titans like Scylla, Methuselah, all that kind of stuff. They are tame but cause some destruction. And in addition to that, we also have Godzilla attacking Apex and whatnot. So humanity is very fearful of the Titans attacking them and want to prevent any more Titan destruction or any raised Hollow Earth equivalents. So Monarch reacts to humanity's fears of future attacks by spending tons of money on creating entrances into the Hollow Earth, essentially allowing the Titans to get back into the Hollow Earth where they came from. In addition to that, there is a brand new device called the Orca Z, interesting, which is developed to bring all the Titans back to the Hollow Earth at the center of Earth and seal them forever. That way, humanity is safe and all the Titans can have their own little world there and they never come back to the surface world. So, very interesting stuff. And of course, this plan fails catastrophically. So, you can really branch out with this, really. This could be a lead up to a Destroy All Monsters movie. Maybe all these kaiju, or I guess Titans in this case, they all get out, they all escape, and now we have all these Titans ravaging the Earth, and then Godzilla and Kong have to team up to fight all of them or something. That is a great setup for a Destroy All Monsters movie. So this movie has a lot of potential to branch out. Really, really awesome. Next, Apex. Apex is a megalithic technological conglomerate that helped in the rebuilding process of the events after King of the Monsters. So think of Apex as the Apple or the Google of the Monsterverse. So a very powerful corporation, and they seem to be pretty good, right? They are helping to rebuild, so that's very good efforts. But I guess later down the road, they chose to do Mechagodzilla because they want to get rid of the Titans, which obviously they think that is for the betterment of humanity, right? Humanity also agrees. So it's not like Apex is purposefully evil just to be evil, but more like they think they're doing the same thing to do. But it turns out there is a natural order to things, and Godzilla's mission and Serizawa, the one we all know and love, not the Ren Serizawa, the actual Serizawa, they're all correct. So I guess they'll learn that the hard way. Next up, we have Kong is taken from Skull Island to Antarctica, which is then intersected by Godzilla, since Kong leaving the island disturbs the natural order. And as we know, Godzilla wants to restore the natural order. He thinks Apex is disturbing that, and now he thinks Kong getting out of the island is that as well. So, Kong is taken out of Skull Island to Antarctica. Very odd situation here. There was some rumors stating this, so very, very interesting. But they also said Skull Island was sunk already or something, which is very weird. I mean, I would assume Skull Island is still kind of up. It's still on the surface level, so maybe that is what humanity is planning to do. It's not like it actually happens, but they plan on sinking, Skull Island back to the Hollow Earth. But because Kong is pretty kind to humans, I mean, for example, he can communicate to humans via sign language, it appears, so he has more affinity towards humans. They want to rescue him and just leave all the other Titans back to the Hollow Earth. And maybe Kong can act as a deterrent for any possible Titans emerging out of the Hollow Earth to the surface world. So I think that is the general plan that Monarch or Apex or whatever has. So guess it all fails though, so there's that. We also know there's two battles between Godzilla and Kong, and we've known this for quite a while, right, because of Sayaka's leaks. But at least according to these article writers, several article writers, Godzilla vs. Kong, the aircraft battle carrier scene or the fight, will be expected to be a tie. So notice how it says expected, and notice how this is not coming from some official in Legendary or some cast member. This is just the cast extrapolating themselves. So this is not confirmation of who the winner is or that it's 100% confirmed to be a tie. We have heard some rumors regarding ties and whatnot. I have heard from some of my sources that it is a tie, but I cannot 100% confirm that. So it is very possible it is not a tie. It's possible Godzilla could win, but I think it is the most likely case that it will be a tie. Why? Well, because we have two battles. We only have two battles, and clearly the aircraft battle sequence is in Godzilla's turf, so it'd be extremely weird if Kong wins. So I guess maybe you can have Godzilla win and then Kong win the final battle. But you could also have it such that you have a tie in the beginning, and that way whenever the actual final battle happens, it's much more fair, and it's not even an underdog story anymore. It's really just, wow, this is getting me hyped up to see who actually wins, instead of an underdog story or a revenge story or anything of that sort. So I think the safest bet is that it will indeed be a tie. Now let's talk about Ren Serizawa. So Ren Serizawa follows his father's footsteps, but feel he wasn't heard. In addition, he wants to protect Earth, but has a different way to go about it. So clearly Ren Serizawa is not purposefully trying to destroy the world and all this kind of crap, but his way of going about it to protect planet Earth is very different from Serizawa's, of course. He wants to eliminate the Titans, presumably. He presumably builds Mechagodzilla. So yeah, he does have a different approach, but he does want to bring good to humanity and the planet. So at least there's that. That is how you write an effective villain, not Vera Farmiga, who has very weird motivations that don't make any sense. This is actually the better way of writing a villain, or a quote-unquote villain, because quote-unquote villains is exactly how you want to have a villain, right? Because you can point out, well, this is actually pretty reasonable. Mecha G destroying all these Titans, and then humanity is safe. I mean, I'd say that's pretty good. That's a pretty good plan. But as we know in the movie, or we don't actually know, but more than likely, it's going to be known, Godzilla's way is the best way. Coexistence is the best way. Some little plot details about the Godzilla team, as they're called. Millie Bobby Brown, very sympathetic towards Godzilla, and she's described as a badass. We have Dennison, who is the friend of Millie Bobby Brown, and he's a realist. We also have Brian Tyree Henry, this dude right here, who plays a conspiracy theorist who was an ex-Apex technician and runs a podcast trying to expose the company. And it is also known that there is a conspiracy theory message in this movie in terms of why people have these ideas of conspiracy theories, which is very interesting addition, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I guess they want to put that in there. Whatever. Who cares? But anyway, now into more interesting things. We have that our heroes arrive to Hong Kong via a shuttle carrying Skullcrawler eggs and end up in an arena. Okay, this is so much to unpack. Skullcrawler eggs in the mainland in Hong Kong. So there we go. We have the potential of seeing Skullcrawlers attacking Hong Kong. Maybe in a future movie we have this like Queen Skullcrawler or something attacking Hong Kong. There's so much potential here. But this arena thing is also really, really interesting. We do have concept art of Mecha G being laid next to a dead Skullcrawler. So this very well could be, or we could be seeing a scene where Mecha G, this arena is used for Mecha G to, I guess, practice or something and just kill off all these Skullcrawlers as practice. So we could very well see that. Next up, we have, regarding this set photo right here, that the device in the skull of Ghidorah isn't an actual brain, but rather an artificial brain. So I guess that kind of debunks any potential quote-unquote leaks regarding a legitimate Ghidorah brain. We also have a Pacific Rim type drift mechanism used for Mecha G to give someone control of the mech. Maybe this is how Ghidorah controls Mecha G. Maybe Ghidorah's consciousness or something drifts, quote-unquote drifts, with Mecha G, and that leads Mecha G to do Ghidorah's bidding. And maybe that is how the plan to seal all the Titans fails, because Mecha G, I assume, is trying to seal all the Titans, but since King Ghidorah is taking over and Ghidorah wants to destroy the planet and whatnot, he unleashes them all out of the Hollow Earth. We very well could be seeing that, and that would be pretty damn awesome. Maybe that's for a Destroy All Monsters movie or something. I don't know. I guess we'll see. And speaking of which, we have an official quote that says, "Ghidorah haunts the movie," which is a very ominous quote. Who knows what that can entail? Maybe a haywire Mecha G who's being controlled by King Ghidorah? That's very possible. And finally, as for the future of the Monsterverse, Winger, the director, said he knows where to go for future films. So that's pretty promising. But I'll wait to see how the movie is received. So hopefully this movie is awesome. If it is awesome, give it as much support as possible so that the Monsterverse continues. Now onto my speculation. This idea of humanity wanting to seal the Titans could lend credence to some rumors way back when they stated Godzilla would fall into the Hollow Earth, right? You guys have probably seen those rumors. So maybe Mecha G is deployed to lure Godzilla and then drop him into a collapsing underground channel. And maybe it is successful and Godzilla just kind of stays there. And maybe this is how they explain Godzilla not appearing in future Monsterverse movies if the Monsterverse continues, at least until they have Godzilla's rights back, which, according to some credible sources I know, they do have Godzilla's rights back again, but I'm not going to confirm it 100%. Just wanted to get that out there, but this is a good way of explaining why Godzilla possibly doesn't come back for future Monsterverse movies, at least temporarily, right? Great idea in my opinion. And you can also have this awesome shot of a 89 Godzilla type scene where Godzilla emerges out of the volcano or something. That will be so cool, honestly. So I do not mind this idea personally. There's also another possibility where this whole entire plan fails, as we know, and Mecha G goes all berserk due to Ghidorah, and because Ghidorah is controlling Mecha G, as I alluded to earlier, he just rises up all the Titans from the Hollow Earth, and that leads into a Destroy All Monsters movie or something. So lots of different possibilities for Godzilla vs. Kong, and even the future of the Monsterverse. Honestly, we have these Skullcrawler eggs, Skullcrawlers possibly in Hong Kong. We have the Titans potentially emerging out. We have Ghidorah. We have this drift thing. So much awesome stuff here. So I really hope the Monsterverse continues, and I really hope this movie does fantastic in the box office, which it's not, okay, but at least comparatively, I hope it does good for what it is, you know, for the times it is. So that is all for this video. Please tell me in the comments below. I don't even know what to ask you guys, because this is just so much information. There's just so much to unpack here. So just tell me your thoughts on absolutely everything. Comment about whatever you want. I don't really care. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to subscribe, like, and comment. This is Mechagodzilla, signing out.